Hey everyone, Kelly here, and I want to talk about the things that I think I might read in December. I thought, I'm doing my December TBR. I should film in front of my tree, though it's not even decorated or anything. We just put it up yesterday and are just waiting for it to relax a little bit before we decorate it. But it's still, it's still a tree. It's nice, though we still have fall on our mantle. We're in transition. We have not fully transitioned to the Christmas stuff yet. I'm just like very slow this year. Okay. He has not like shown me any attention until I get the camera out. I swear. I don't know if he just is very like camera happy. He's like, show me in my cute face. But yeah, so I have not fully transitioned to Christmas decor, but this is what we have for today. I have a few things that I kind of want to get to in December. I'm not gonna like really push myself though, because I haven't really read a lot. If you saw my November wrap up, I basically have not been reading the last few weeks. Like I didn't read much of anything the last couple weeks of November, and we're already 5 days into December, and I think I've read like a total of 2 chapters of a book, which is very much not like me. I usually read every day, even if it's just like a little bit before bed. But I just haven't been lately, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it just means that even though I have these things that I am looking forward to reading and want to read, it may not happen because I'm not going to push it, because then I won't enjoy the things I pick up. So I'm hoping I'll get back in the reading mood soon and can finish off some of these things. So my first plan is that because I didn't basically read it all at the end of November, I didn't get to participate in Skoden Readathon the way I wanted to. I had all these books planned, and so I'm going to spread them out over the next couple months because I still really want to get to these books by Indigenous authors. So the 2 I kind of think I want to focus on in December are Alatsaway, which is a young adult, I think it's kind of a paranormal mystery type book. It looks very winter, but what I heard from somebody that is actually it takes place in summer, but that's fine. I still just really want to get to this one, and so I had it out from the library, want to read that one. And then I want to read Braiding Sweetgrass, which is a nonfiction book, and this is one that I've heard from a lot of people that it's nice to take it slow, and so I think that this will be a nice one to just read a little bit very slowly throughout the winter, maybe finish it in December, or maybe just take the entire winter to slowly work my way through this one. So I'd like to pick that up. I had some other ones on my Skoden Readathon TBR, but I have some I definitely am planning on reading in January because they go with like the things I was going to read in January anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of pace them out, but I still want to get to those books I just did not read last month. And then I want to finish a few sequels before the end of the year. A couple I have out from the library, so I would like to read them before I return them, and they're just ones that I've been meaning to get to, and then one that I own that I have picked up several times and I just haven't finished, and I am currently reading it again, so I want to get that. And that one is, I'll tell you the one I'm currently reading, which is The Suffragette Scandal by Courtney Milan. This is the last book in the Brother Sinister series. There is a novella after this, but this is the last like full novel. And I've read a couple chapters, and that is the 2 chapters I've read so far in December, and I'm enjoying it. So when I feel like it, I would like to keep picking this one up and hopefully at least finish one series in this year. I have basically finished no series this year. I was kind of deciding if I was gonna do a series wrap-up video, like I sometimes do that at the end of a year, talk about all the series I finished. I have only finished 1 series, and if I finish this book, then that'll be 2 series. That's it. So this has not been a great year for finishing off series, so this would be nice to kind of say that I could have finished at least 2 series this year. And then a series I want to continue is Amari. This is Amari and the Great Game, book 2, and I had reread book 1 this year so that I could pick this one up. So I should pick this one up before I forget what book 1 was about, and I really enjoyed book 1 both times I read it, so I do want to pick that up before it's due back to the library. And then I have The Cruelest Month by Louise Penny, which is book 3, right? And the Armand Gamache series, and I didn't like book 2 like really at all, and so I would like to pick this up. I've heard people say that book 4 is when the series like really gets good and hits its stride, and so I'm hoping that this one isn't as bad for me as book 2, but I at least would like to try to get to book 4, so I see if like I don't want to like necessarily quit the series since it's such a beloved series and it seems like something I would like. And I really did enjoy book 1. I want to give it to that, book 4 chance where people say it really picks up. So I want to read this one and hopefully it isn't as bad for me as book 2 was. So those are kind of some of my plans. And then the only other plan I have is to just finish the books that I have started over the last few months. The one I'm reading with my daughter, which I'm sure we're going to finish, is Igraine the Brave by Cornelia Funke. This is a middle grade fantasy book, so I think we're going to be able to get through it. We're towards the beginning, but still she's enjoying it. We're studying the Middle Ages, and this one is not, it's fiction, so it's not actually taking place during the Middle Ages, but it has that very much like knights and castles feel. So we're kind of doing it as part of that study. I have Malice by Heather Walter, and I actually started this book, I think in March of this year, and then never picked it back up. I was listening to an audiobook and the audiobook got, this is over halfway. I am 285 pages in, and then the audiobook got returned. And so I got the book out from the library thinking maybe I'll read it physically, but now I'm wondering if I should start over with the audio. I don't know, but I feel like I should finish this because I got so far in and I was really enjoying it. It was just a matter of the audiobook returning when I read it the first time. So it might be one where if I'm in the mood, I just start it over again and just listen to it on a faster speed since I have heard the first 2/3 before, just listen to the beginning really quickly and then finish it off. So that's kind of my hope. I do also have the audiobook now out from the library again. So I would really like to finish that since it's been all year basically. And then I have Graceling by Kristen Cashore, which is a young adult fantasy, and I had read half of this book and then stopped, and I was really enjoying it. I don't know, it was just I got pulled into other things, other readathons, and I ended up buying all the books in the series, so I want to make sure I finish this. I was enjoying it, so I would like to read this one as well. I don't know if I want to kind of speed through and read the beginning, so I really am immersed in the story, but yeah, that is one I would like to continue. I have Jane Against the World, Roe v. Wade, and the Fight for Reproductive Rights by Karen Blumenthal. And I picked this up, right at the time when the Supreme Court was making their decision. And this is another one again where I had gotten the audiobook from the library, and the audiobook returned at page 212. And so I am a good chunk of the way through this, but I found that I was really enjoying listening to it instead of reading it, just because I liked the narrator, and also it's very info heavy because it is nonfiction about a lot of history stuff. So I'm trying to decide if I should just try to finish this out or wait for the audiobook, because the library only owns one of the audiobooks, so it takes forever for my whole to come in. So this is one that I was really liking this and learning about the history of reproductive rights in the United States. So I would like to continue that and finish it before the end of the year, whether I just pick it up physically or hopefully my audiobook hold comes in. And then I have Cotillion by Georgette Heyer, and this was our group read for the Fall into Reading Challenge for September, and I was enjoying it, and I made it halfway, but we got to the end of the our buddy read, and I hadn't finished it, and so I just put it down and started picking up something else that had to do, I think I just had to pick up the next buddy read or something else distracted me, and I didn't finish this. So this is one I would also like to finish. I have Anna of Byzantium, and this was one that I was reading as kind of a supplement to when my daughter and I were learning about the Byzantine Empire, and this is about a princess during the Byzantine Empire, and I've been enjoying it. I only got 30 pages in, but this was what I was reading when I hit this slump. I had started this mid-November, got a few chapters in, and then I just didn't read anything other than books to my daughter for 2 weeks. And so this one was just kind of a casualty of that. It wasn't that there was anything wrong with it. It just hit right at the time where I just stopped reading. Same thing happened with The Birds and Other Stories by Daphne du Maurier. I was reading this in November, was enjoying it, had read, my bookmark's not accurate because I was not reading the stories in order because some of these I had read before. So I was kind of reading the new stories first and then going back and reading the stories I had already read. So I've read half of the stories in this, and I still have 3 stories. Well, 2.5. I'm halfway through one of the stories. So 2.5 stories left to read in this one. And once again, I hit right in the middle of November when I stopped reading. And so like I should have been able to finish this one in November, but because I just didn't read, like it was taking me, like I am currently in the middle of that one story and for like 3 weeks because I just haven't been reading, which is kind of silly to not finish a short story, but like literally have no motivation to pick up a book. So yeah, hopefully that ends very soon. And then the other one that was kind of a casualty of that was In Order to Live, A North Korean Girl's Journey to Freedom by Yeonmi Park. And this was our group read for the November Volunteer Reading Challenge. My cat is eating the tree. And this one, I was also enjoying it. And I shouldn't say enjoying because this is a very hard subject matter. Her, like so far we've been learning about her life in North Korea before she escaped, and it's very hard reading. So that was part of the reason that I took a break from it. And then I hit that slump, and it's really hard to pick up a tough topic book when you're not even motivated to read anything. So that's why I haven't picked this back up, but I do want to finish this. Like I think it's very informative, and I was like enjoying the process of learning, not necessarily enjoying the subject matter, but I would like to finish that. And then one that I had started a while ago was Tales from the Arabian Nights by Donna Jo Napoli. And this one are just, retelling tales from the Arabian Nights. And I had read a version of the Arabian Nights with my daughter. I'm halfway through this. And then I was reading this one to myself. And then we moved on to the Byzantine Empire, away from the Islamic Empire in the Middle Ages. And so I put this down to focus on the Byzantine Empire. But I would like to finish this because I really do like reading the Arabian Nights stories. And the last thing is Les Mis. So I've been reading this all year long. If you've seen any of my Friday reads, I've been reading this all year. We started in January, me and my best friend, and we've been reading this together. Our plan was to finish by the end of the year, and I'm hoping we could still do that, but we got sidetracked. We basically, both of us didn't read this in November because of family emergency. Like she had a family emergency, and so we put our buddy read on hold. And so that kind of got us behind on our schedule. But we only have 200 pages left, which, 200 pages seems like a lot, but when you talk about the amount that we have read, like, I feel like we could do it. I feel like we can finish it before the end of the year. It's just hard because, like I said, we took a whole month break because of family stuff and private stuff. So it lost our momentum. We were reading like one section every single week. So now we're kind of like, are we still reading a section? But now we have to read we have to read basically 2 sections a week in order to finish it by the end of the year. And yeah, so struggling a little bit, but I'm kind of hoping I can push through and finish this because it would be really nice to finish that book in 1 year and not stretch it into 2023. So if nothing else, I really like to finish Les Mis, if nothing else happens. So that's kind of like my focus. But yeah, this just doesn't like me to go into like kind of a reading slump like this, to not pick things up. Even like audiobooks, I usually just always have an audiobook going when I do chores, but lately I haven't even been listening to anything when I do chores. Or like I'll listen to podcasts. I've listened to a few podcasts, or I've been watching some more like television. Like my husband and I have watched more television, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with my time. I'm just not reading like at the times I normally would. Like when I'm driving, I might be listening to music more or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe that's just a transition I'm making to like having less focus time on reading at all times of day. Like maybe it's fine to be focusing on other things. I just also want to read something this month and not get to the month and found that I have not read anything. So that's the only kind of struggle. Like even if it's just a few things, that would be fine. I also have some like other romance books that I'm really in the mood. Like I feel like I'm in the mood to read romance. And so maybe that'll end up being what I do, because I feel like when you're in a slump, you just have to kind of read what you're in the mood for. So it could be that this plan will all like fall apart and I'll just end up reading cutesy romances for the rest of the month. But I would like to finish some of these books that I started and not take them into 2023. So we shall see what happens, because right now I just really don't have any clue what's gonna happen, other than this tree will get decorated in the next couple days, and hopefully some other Christmas decor will happen. But that's about all I know of what's happening in life right now. So let me know how you're doing, if you get into these like kind of moods where you just don't want to read anything, you're not feeling in the mood to do any type of reading. Yeah, let me know how you're doing, and I will see you next time. Bye.